What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, in today's video, we're going to go through my game plan for installing my fog hashing home immersion kit. And then we're going to head over to my ASIC shed and we're going to go ahead and pull down and decommission 2 of my Bitcoin ASICs and strip those puppies down and get them prepped and ready for immersion. Today's video is sponsored by the team over at �MaxiMiners.com. With crypto mining hardware prices at all-time lows, it's important to find a company you can trust for your ASIC purchases. The team at �MaxiMiners.com is here to help. Carrying some of my favorite brands like Bitmain, Jazzminer, Goldshell, iPolo, WhatsMiner, Ice River, and many more. In the current bear market, every dollar counts. �MaxiMiners.com is a great place to start shopping for your next ASIC purchase with their competitive prices, offering convenient payment methods like Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Apple Pay, and Google Pay. Looking to purchase an ASIC miner but can't run it at home? �MaxiMiners.com has you covered with hosting in Dubai, Paraguay, Norway, and even the United States. Finally, need your miner ASAP? �MaxiMiner.com has you covered with 2 to 4 day shipping right to your home. Go check out �MaxiMiners.com today via the link in this video's description down below. All right, so in my last video, we went through and unboxed this thing. And if you guys are curious on it or have more questions on it, I'll put a link directly down below to that video. But we have the tank here that holds 2 ASIC miners. We have some long hoses and the immersion fluid. We went into detail a ton on this in the last video. But this is really the guy that was a big question for me. This is the dry cooler that cools the fluid that runs between the 2 of these, but it has to be outside, and you have to have some really good space and kind of height for this unit that I've learned very, very quickly. So let's go ahead and go outside because I want to show you what I ended up discussing with my local HVAC guy and where I plan to put this. All right, let's head outside here. All right, so as many of you guys may or may not know, I do have a outdoor shed here that used to have a whole bunch of my ASICs in it. Now it's all GPUs. We have some Jazz miners in there, some iPolos, all that fun stuff. So I want to put my immersion tank here because I'm maxing out my power and my goal at my other shed for air. So all my air stuff there can be louder. I'm not too concerned about it, but here it's got to be a little quieter because my neighbor is like right over here, you know? So I don't want to have a lot of those loud ASICs here. I think I'm up to about 12 total ASICs over there. So I actually have another shed coming in, gets delivered here on Tuesday. It's a 12 by 8. It's going to be a traditional lawn shed that'll be sitting right here. We did this pad more previously. So 2 things we wanted to talk about. First is I have finalized the fact of, let's head inside this shed. All right, so I can put the immersion tank here or on the other side. I have a decent amount of space. On this side, it actually measures out to be a little bit more, so I might end up putting it just right here. Put it right here, it's on the hot side, so all that hot air will get pulled out by our fans right up here. And I have a PDU, nice and easily accessible. So that would mean that the unit would sit here, and then my hoses would go out the wall on this side, around back. So let me show you what I'm thinking for the dry cooler. All right, let's go out here. Okay, so for the dry cooler side, you know, some of the viewers actually in my Discord, and I appreciate your guys' feedback and thoughts, talked about putting it on the back side of the shed here. And after doing some research on the dry cooler, talking with fog hashing, I had my HVAC guy over here, we spitballed some ideas. You know, I could have mounted it right here on the back side. The issue is that within the actual specifications, it recommends that you're 1.5 feet off of the wall to allow for good airflow, which you would be right up against the house here with the width of this unit. So right here isn't going to work, but it was a really, really good idea. You could end up getting these L brackets. They hold about 250 pounds, and I could put one and another one and put it into the studs and then take the hosing down and go inside the shed. So the other option, which we decided to do, is right here is my solar setup. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this bush, haven't told the wife yet, but we're gonna take this bush and rip this bush out. And then we're going to build a pad like we have over here with our 4x4s and gravel. And then we're gonna do 2 cinder blocks here, and I'm gonna put the unit right on top of our cinder block pad right here. That'll work out really, really well. And then I have 2 options. So here's the first option. I can do a hole right into the other side of my garage, and we'll walk inside there. And I actually have a 30 amp 240 volt in there, so I can remount my PDU because I do need to power the unit. The unit uses 440 watts, and it is powered off of a C13 to C14 connection. So I could do that, or I could run the power cable outside here, which I'm not as interested in, along with the hoses, and run them over to right over on that side of the shed, which is where we're gonna go ahead and have the tank. Now the cables are 15 feet. So I have 15 feet from there to here. If it's too tight, I'll move my tank right inside the shed right here. All right, so let's head over to the shed and pick up the 2 ASICs I'm planning to use for this immersion project. All right, guys, we're about to head over to the shed. Wanted to give you guys a quick, where my mind's at, what I'm thinking here. So those of you guys, if you've been following along the channel, following along my shed build, my second shed build I did with my ASIC shed, I moved a lot of it, all my ASICs, full-size ASICs, over to this other shed that I have. And it's been great. We're at 28,800 watts, and where our electric rate is about 4 cents. Now, my rate is like this, it's called like an unlimited subscription plan. I'll put a link to this video down below. I have explaining it, but the more electric I use there, the less my rate is. So I'm actually about 4 cents over there. But what does that do for my home shed, the original shed that I have here? Well, that's left with GPUs that are on efficient algorithms, not using much power, jazz miners, iPolos. So I used to be over here at like 7 cents. Now I'm up to 9 cents because I've lost a boatload, like 15,000 watts. We're now down to 13, 11, 12,000 watts. So the nice thing is when I bring these 2 additional ASICs over here from that shed, one that frees up bays or slots over there so I can get more full-size ASICs, which I'm excited about. And then second, I bring that power back over here. So now I'm gonna bring back over 6,000 watts, which is fantastic to kind of bump that up more, which will cause my electric rate to go down at my current house. So some things to think about. The nice thing is, hey, bring ASICs back home here. I'm excited to get into the immersion project, something new, something different. No heat, and they're quiet, which is insane. Like they're silent pretty much being in the immersion setup. So a huge home run in that regard. All right, stop talking. Let's head over to our ASIC shed and let me show you guys what 2 ASICs I'm getting and why. All right, let's head inside. Lights are on. Let's take a look how we're doing here on temps. 85, 79. Nice and comfortable in here. 82. Here's our current ASICs. We got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. We got more on the way, which I'm excited for. Let's take a look over here. Exhaust temps right now, 99. Yep, 99 as well, which is great. Most of these units right now are on low power mode. A few of them, like our XP up there, is on full normal mode. Taking a look at the wall here, about 5100, 5400, 5200, 49 and 43. Kind of done the best I can to balance these out. I still have not come up with a plan for how I want to take care of these cables, so that's why they're kind of a rat's nest right now. It's like that last piece. It has been really nice to be able to move them around and stuff like that, so we'll see what happens. 87 over here. Let's see here. Celsius, 30. All right, so what ASICs are we going to be bringing over to the house for the immersion project? We're doing 2. First one is going to be the new S19 XP I got. This thing, talking with Bitmain. So this is the one that got replaced, and this is the brand new one. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll put it down below. The other day, this thing was overheating. It was like 60 outside. Like, what the hell? All these other units, completely fine. Talked to Bitmain, they're like, oh yeah, that runs significantly hotter than your normal S19Js. These run fine, man. These can run 100 degrees out. They're doing great. So that unit, I'm gonna put it in immersion. Super problematic, especially when it's super sensitive to heat. It's just gonna be better to put that in immersion. So we're gonna take our XP that we just got installed, bring that over to the house, and then we're gonna go ahead and over here, we have the S19J Pro 100 terahash. We're gonna bring this one as well, because I'm really curious on how well that will perform once we get into a bull run, and I can take this from 100 terahash and crank that sucker up with overclocking. So let me get both of these guys disconnected, and we'll take them back to the house to get disassembled. All right, check it out. We are totally disassembled. Look, there's nothing in there. So, control board, of course, we're going to reuse. I want to make sure I put all these screws aside and label them. These are the ones I'm not going to reuse. The ones in here we're going to need. The fans we're not going to use for the power supply. These are actually, guys, if you guys aren't familiar, these are what make most of the noise from these. We don't need the fan guards. We don't need these high RPM, 6,000 RPM fans. We will need our cables. We're going to need the rest of the covers. Of course, the chassis. Here's the power supply if you guys were ever interested. And I'll be honest, I don't know what the white stuff is. I assume it's some type of like putty, right? Is that my understanding, to protect these things? You guys in chat down below, leave a comment, let me know. You guys will educate me more. But yeah, it'll be completely open in here, so the oil will go completely through. Fog hashing recommends that you have these completely removed. And then take a look. Here is all three of our hash boards. They look brand new because it is brand new, and it looks awesome. And then finally, bus bars. We're going to reuse those screws, and then all this will go back together. So I'm going to take my time with this. I won't film all of it, but all I'm going to do is blow these out individually, wipe them down with alcohol 99% just to make sure everything is like immaculate. And in just a second, I will do a quick cut to you'll see this XP completely back together in the state, ready to go in our immersion tank. All right, take a look. It looks so naked now. S19 XP. Fans removed, grills removed, we blew everything out, wiped everything down. Even though it's a brand new unit, a week old, I still wanted to do my due diligence on this unit here. Nothing on that backside. We got everything packed up over here. We'll label it just in case we ever need it in the future. So what's left? So I am going to do this one off camera, same thing as I did with this one here. I probably am going to power them on, both like a fan in front of them, in the spare room over here where I have my setup, and just to make sure that everything starts working in mining after I took everything apart, especially before we go putting it into the immersion setup. So that's really going to wrap things up for today. I will go ahead and keep you guys updated. I'm going to give you guys an update on the project. The next step in the project is to actually install the system. So I'll have that coming up here soon. If you guys want to be notified when I drop that video, go ahead and click that bell, and I'll see you guys next time.